Welcome to AZPM News Daily, a wrap-up of all the day's news from Arizona Public Media. I'm Steve Jess. On our Tuesday podcast, we profile a DACA recipient who describes his life in limbo.
What I've learned from the U.S. government so far is that they're really great at taking your money, but they're not really great at producing what you're asking for.
Envisioning a new future for Old Tucson.
We do have an opportunity to rebuild a better version of Old Tucson.
And a new school for the blind builds community support. That's ahead on this Tuesday, August 4th. Starting us off in the news, Tucson residents brought to the United States as children are pushing for pathways to legal residency as the Trump administration continues its immigration crackdown. Angela Gervasi reports.
When Roberto Navarro leaves the house, his wife gets nervous. That's because earlier this year, the U.S. government placed him into deportation proceedings. His parents brought him to the United States when he was 18 months old, he says. He grew up in Tucson and is studying mechanical engineering at the U of A. He's tried multiple times to fix his legal status. That includes an application he sent under the Biden administration.
I submitted all the paperwork. I sent them my money. What I've learned from the U.S. government so far is that they're really great at taking your money, but they're not really great at producing back what you're asking for.
Navarro says he has a hearing on his case this fall. He was among other local residents and elected officials who spoke about the need for immigration reform during a news conference Tuesday in downtown Tucson. Angela Gervasi, AZPM News.
Former Republican Governor Doug Ducey endorsed Congressman Andy Biggs and his running mate for governor today. Ducey wrote in a statement, "Today there's a starker contrast than I've ever seen in the public square between common sense and people running under the banner of socialism and many other bad ideas." He also explicitly endorsed Senate President Warren Peterson for Attorney General and encouraged voters to support Republicans up and down the November ballot. Ducey did not endorse Republican Carrie Lake in 2022 when she ran for governor and lost to Katie Hobbs. House Speaker Mike Johnson and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent are visiting Arizona this week to meet with business leaders alongside Congressman Juan Ciscomani, who's seeking re-election in one of the country's few competitive congressional districts. The three will tour a factory in Casa Grande on Wednesday and participate in a roundtable discussion with Arizona business leaders. The visit comes as Ciscomani faces Democrat Joanna Mendoza in Arizona's 6th congressional district, one of just 18 competitive districts across the country that could determine which party controls the House next year. Recent data from the Department of Economic Security shows that while the wait list for child care assistance grows, more Arizonans are getting food assistance than in previous months. Noor Hagigi reports.
The number of Arizona families in need of child care assistance and on the wait list has grown to more than 8,000 or 14,000 kids. Bisbee mother Ryan Powell says she's had to find workarounds for her 1-year-old daughter and 4-year-old son.
There is absolutely no child care for children under the age of 3. Of the 3 preschools, 2 of them are half days, and then the one that is full day, it goes till 2:45.
Meanwhile, roughly 470,000 Arizonans are currently receiving food assistance from SNAP. That's an increase of 20,000 people since April, when enrollment in the program dropped 50% after strict Trump-endorsed changes took effect. Noor Hagigi, AZPM News.
Old Tucson Studios may get a new operator. A Tucson group is hoping to take over the entertainment venue when the current operator leaves next year. American Heritage Railways has run Old Tucson since 2022, but it turned down a 10-year extension of its lease, which expires in April. Pima County, which owns the site, is looking for someone else to take over. Tucson-based Wild West Enterprise founder Robert Label presented their proposal last Sunday during a community event.
We're going to rebuild Old Tucson. Now, we know that it can never be the same way that it was before the fire, but we do have an opportunity to rebuild a better version of Old Tucson, a version that's better than what it used to be. We can do this.
The Tucson-based operation's goal is to revitalize, preserve, and reopen the location as a year-round cultural landmark. They're also hoping to lower ticket prices, have educational programming, and a yearly Western Film Festival on site. A former Prescott police officer has been sentenced to 7 years in prison for the fatal 2024 shooting of an unarmed man. A Yavapai County judge sentenced Brian Sutton to the shortest possible prison time for the killing of 34-year-old Daniel Leslie after a jury convicted Sutton of 1 count of manslaughter. Prosecutors say Sutton and another officer responded to Leslie's home on June 8, 2024, to question him over allegations he threatened a former girlfriend earlier in the day. Body camera footage shows Leslie declining to speak to officers before walking toward his home and away from Sutton. Sutton can be heard threatening to shoot Leslie if he tries to go inside. The footage then shows Sutton confronting him in the carport before firing 3 shots as Leslie moves to go inside. He was pronounced dead a short time later. About 2,300 students at Yuma's Kofa High School spent their first day of classes at home because the school's air conditioning failed. Yuma's temperature reached 105 degrees on Tuesday. School officials informed parents their students would attend virtually for at least 1 day. Temporary repairs may get the school's air system running by Wednesday. A permanent fix, though, could take months. Earlier this summer, the school's offices were relocated because of prior air conditioning issues. A fundraiser will help the Tucson School for the Blind cover expenses as the new school begins its first week of classes. We hear more in this report from Thatcher Warwick-Hess.
Retired Arizona State Schools for the Deaf and Blind employee Marcy Albert organized a fundraiser Tuesday night to help the Tucson School for the Blind during its inaugural semester. Albert says her friendship with the owner of JoJo's Restaurant helped make the fundraiser possible. The restaurant hosts community fundraisers every Tuesday, and 10% of tonight's proceeds will benefit the school.
To be able to connect that to my best friend's restaurant and fundraiser event, it's just closes that circle for me.
Earlier this year, the Arizona State Schools for the Deaf and Blind laid off 60 employees and relocated to Oro Valley, prompting some students with blindness to enroll at the Tucson School for the Blind. The fundraiser runs from 4 to 9 p.m. and includes food and live music. I'm Thatcher Warwick-Hess, AZPM News.
And now you're caught up on the stories we've covered today at Arizona Public Media. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to AZPM News Daily wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Steve Jess, and we'll be back tomorrow.